Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of puppets. Today, looking at some more UK craft beer. This time, a big old stout, and this is one I got from Jay and Linda. So thanks a ton to Jay and Linda for the beer. Sorry for the wait on the review of this one, but there's just been a lot of beer in the cellar, and yeah, that's how it is sometimes. Unlucky for me. But yeah, this is from Good Name Brewing, a brewery I never heard of. Apparently, a really tiny one from 2017 that brews something that looks really big, at least judging by what's in the glass here. But Jay and Linda gave me this one, and Jay said this is just a crazy good, massive, rich stout. So this is Good Names Pete, and Peter. I think that's the name of it. It's a 15% Affogato Imperial dessert stout. 15%. So listen to this. It's made with water, malted barley, oats, wheat, hops, vanilla pods, cacao nibs or cacao, liquid chocolate, and Italian coffee beans. And I've seen some brewers use this liquid chocolate in brewing. I think Neon Raptor has done it in a recent collab they did, or a collab they did with Adroit Theory. Uh, but I've seen some brewers use it, and it can give some really good results. I think it's, I'm not sure, but I think liquid. They also use actually liquid chocolate at Samuel Smith's. I'm pretty sure, but although that's a really old school brewery, but it seems like this is like tiny batches because this is bottle number 42 out of 138. So there's not a lot of this beer around, and you can see that it's got a lot of gunk here in the bottle. It's been standing upright, but there's a lot of gunk, so I'm guessing there's a lot of adjuncts. And also pouring this out, no head. Like, I couldn't generate anything, but the liquid coming out looked crazy. Look at that. I mean, this looks like American hype beer, for God's sake. I mean, wow. That is rich and black. It leaves like really sticky brown curtains on the side of the glass. That is nuts. I mean, just looking at this, it gives me, thoughts to something like Medianoche or something like that from Wildworks. It's just so rich looking. Let's check out the aroma, see how it smells. Ooh, really interesting. So it smells really rich, but it smells really like British to me as well. Like I'm getting loads of Bassett's wine gums and dark fruit. So I'm not sure when this was bottled, but actually they give it a best before date of October last year. So it's not a fresh bottle, but that's on me. That's on me. But yeah, really dark fruity, but also lots of coffee on it. Coffee. I don't know about the chocolate. I'm really getting loads of dark fruit. And that could be a little bit of oxidation. Also interesting, I'm getting something that reminds me of banana. Heavy roasted malt. It smells like charry and roasty as well. Ashy, burnt, and then like this really dense, like espresso kind of coffee character. Lots of espresso, heavy roasted espresso. It smells really good, but it smells. It's interesting. Also, the more it sits in the glass, the more that like crazy, like dark fruity thing fades. But it smells like a decadent beer. Let's try it. Cheers. Thanks a ton to Jay and Linda for the beer. Really rich. Quite chocolatey. Wow, that is interesting. The liquid chocolate reminds me of Young's Double Chocolate Stout. It's like a really rich cocoa powder type flavor. Like if you ever eat cocoa powder, it's something like that. Like really rich, sweet cocoa powder with heavy dark roast espresso. It's something like that. It's like, and it's really sweet too. Like massively sweet. Like loads of like, yeah, like brown sugar or something like that. And then like a big roast profile too, like heavily roasted malt. But that's not actually, it's not that intense. I think the sweetness overshadows everything else. But the big thing is really like this, like, yeah, chocolatey flavor that really reminds me of Samuel's Both Samuel Smith's chocolate stout, but also Young's double chocolate stout. It must be the chocolate that they use in those beers as well. They're just this is like much more extreme in both the level of chocolate and also the base beer. The dark fruity thing is definitely also there. But I guess if it's made with English yeast or something, or yeast has been a bit stressed, I don't know. It's just got a lot of yeast flavor. Also a little bit licoricey, a little bit ashy, but it's really sweet. It's really sweet. And I think if it didn't have like sharp coffee and sharp roast, I think it would be a touch too sweet for my palate. Although it's nicely rich. Like it is a nicely rich beer. It's yeah. It's interesting, like that roasty burnt edge. I'm not sure if that's coffee or that's malt. Because it doesn't have the same sharp roast as you get from like roasted barley or something like that. But yeah, this is again maybe an example of why you shouldn't age your pastry or dessert stouts or whatever you want to call them. They should be drunk fresh. This is on me again. That's what happened when you have just way too many beers sitting around. Then stuff like this gets to sit a bit. But I still think it tastes quite nice. I'm not floored. I think a lot of people would be floored by this because it's so rich and decadent. Look at that! The glass just looks nuts. But I don't know. It's almost like you did a mashup between like some of these American hype beers and a British Russian Imperial Stout or something like that. Then mixed with those, like I talked about, classic beers like Young's Double Chocolate and Samuel Smith's Chocolate Stout. But like compared to some like big hype stouts, it seems less cohesive and like it has like not as defined of like malt characteristics and whatnot. Again, like I think it feels like there's a lot of a crazy yeast presence in it too. It's almost as if the yeast is either British or really stressed in making a beer like this, because it's like there's so much of this fruity, dark fruity, like estery thing. But otherwise, I think it's really good. But nut stuff, nut stuff. I'm not blown away. I like it, but I think I've definitely had better Imperial stouts with adjuncts. Let's say it like that. And again, most times, pastry stouts, adjunct stouts. I mean, I love some of them. I've loved a lot of them, but when they get really cloying sweet and like sometimes they just fall through a bit. And I think this one is falling through a little bit. I'm not like overly excited, but I think it's good. So I'm thinking like an 88 or something like that. It's a nice beer, but I'm not like, wow, I want to drink this again. But I think that's mainly also maybe because I aged it for way too long. I should have just drunk it when I got it. But that's how it is. We got some really interesting thing to go through as well, because Long from Norway actually passed on to me 2 years ago now, I guess, the first Lervik Rackhouse beers, and I've not cracked them yet. So we'll see how those are. But yeah, if you guys had a chance to try good names, Pete, and Peter, Affogato Imperial Dessert Stout, let me know what you thought of it. Thanks a ton to Jay and Linda for the beer. It was very fun to try this one. And as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm going to say cheers and see you guys in another beer review.